Mike, check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector coming at you with a late night drop. Just got done hanging out in one of Heck and Steve's live streams. Uh, Comedy, pure comedy. I mean, that live stream was pure comedy. I mean, listen, good stuff there. I was actually working. I had to do some work this weekend, and I was wrapping up a couple of reports, and I had the live stream going in the background. Um, and he was doing one of his, Heck and Steve reseller roasts, and it was good times. A few things that came out of that, live stream that I thought, I just take the last bit of energy that I have before I knock out for the night and just kind of touch base with the Y2K crew on. First of all, if you were in that live stream and you gave me a shout out to you, shout out to all the Y2K crew, shout out to all the subscribers. I think I'm gonna do a live, man. I mean, that thing looks fun. I think I'm gonna do a live. I gotta get like a live streaming setup and figure out how I'm gonna do that. But I've never done a live before. I've never done a live, so I think I may do a live, um, and we'll see how that goes. But while I was in there, someone had asked if I have a $160,000 game collection. And I jokingly responded that it's actually 1.6 million, but it's actually not 1.6 million. The truth of the matter is that my game collection is probably around 80 grand, I would say, would be the value of my game collection. And and that's with me having just under 1,000 games, I would say, or right around 1,000 games. I try not to have more than 1,000 games. I think I'm about 20 games over that with all of the pickups that I've recently made during GameStop's buy two get one. So, but I do have kind of a bit of a war chest that I'm building for trade. So I'll probably wind up trading away a good number of games in order to get back probably like a really rare or expensive game. It's something that I've done a number of times in my collecting journey. It's how I've gotten some of the most rare and expensive games in my collection. And so, that's more than likely what I'll do, which kind of leads me to another topic that kind of came up during that live stream, which was just talking about, rare and expensive games versus common games. I think that there is a place, depending on who you are, for both types of games. You might look at a game like Paper Mario Sticker Star and think that's not a game that I want to have in my collection. Paper Mario Sticker Star isn't even worth 19.99. I think it's like a $15 game. But honestly, it's a good game. It's a quality game for the 3DS. And if it's, something that's right up your alley, I don't see why someone would pass up on it just because it's not a super rare or expensive game. The same thing with Super Street Fighter 4. The Super Street Fighter game is not a game that I necessarily would want to hook up a console for, just because my affinity for Street Fighter kind of stops around like Street Fighter Third Strike, like in that realm somewhere. Like once we started getting into like the Street Fighter 4 era, that's where I kind of dropped off, to be quite honest with you. But I think on the 3DS, it does make for a really great game. And again, not an expensive game at all. Maybe 10 bucks, 15 at best. So I think that, depending on who you are as a collector, and depending on the types of games that you like to collect, there's room for whatever you want in your collection. Even if you want a game like Okamiden, right? And Okamiden is a game that wasn't always really rare or expensive. But as I mentioned the other day, once they announced that the sequel was coming out, all things Okami went up in price, including Okamiden. So now Okamiden, brand new, is like 130 bucks. Used is probably like 110 bucks if you find one used complete. I actually found one that was in like new condition at one of my local GameStops. I mean, like really, really good condition. And so, I think it just depends. I think there's a little bit of policing that goes on when it comes to how people collect. My motto is collect whatever the hell you want to collect. If you want to collect only rare and expensive games, it's your prerogative. It's your money, it's your games, it's your space. You do whatever you want to do. You don't let any I'm not a believer in allowing anyone to influence you into collecting or not collecting anything. If you want to collect a whole bunch of FIFA games, going back to FIFA 96, if you want to collect all of the Madden games or all of the NBA, live games, that's your prerogative. Some people really want that stuff. Some people don't. I'm the type of person that with the games that I like, mainly being like shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, action platformers, things of that nature. Just the nature of the genre of the games that I like, a lot of those games do tend to be more expensive, especially on the consoles that I collect for. I mainly collect shoot 'em ups on consoles like the Sega Saturn, which is just inherently going to be expensive. Sega CD shoot 'em ups are going to be expensive. PlayStation 1 shoot 'em ups are going to be expensive. And those consoles are home to some of the greatest shoot 'em ups of all time. In fact, we don't even really get a lot of really high quality shoot 'em ups these days. A lot of the shoot 'em ups that you see, and I'm just using shoot 'em ups as an example, but a lot of the shoot 'em ups that you see today are remakes. A lot they're remakes. Like if you look on the shelves in most GameStops, you're seeing a bunch of Cotton games like Cotton Reboot, Cotton Fantasy, Rainbow Cotton. Those are all Sega Saturn shoot 'em ups. Those are all shoot 'em up games that came out on like the is it the Turbo Graphics, the Sega Saturn. Those are old shoot 'em ups. You got Batsugun that's coming out on the Nintendo Switch. That's an old shoot 'em up. So because of that, a lot of those older shoot 'em ups have been historically expensive. Now that they're getting these re-releases, I don't know, maybe they'll go down in price, but I highly doubt it. Like, I highly doubt it. There's really nothing like the original. And again, if that's something that you like, if that's something that you're into, then go collect it, man. Don't let anybody influence you to do or to not do anything that you deep down inside really want to do when it comes to how you want to build your collection. But yeah, that was something else that was touched on. And there was just a lot of little side conversations in the chat that went on. Unfortunately, the chat got cut. The live stream got cut short, but it was good nonetheless. I think, the gaming community. I think it's cool when we can come together and disagree, but and as long as we keep it respectful, as long as it stays playful, as long as it stays, in a good spirit, then I think we can all have fun. The second people try to get, personal, take personal digs, personal jabs, that's when it just starts to get real corny. And I think if you don't like something, don't watch it. If you're not feeling a content creator, you know, don't go around them. But you got a lot of people who kind of like sneak this and hate on the low and do a lot, like a lot of low key stuff. And I think a lot of the hate that you see, um that's not like in a playful format. When people start to really seriously hate on people, that's when it just starts to get really weird. But I mean, all in all, that's gonna happen, I guess, in any genre on YouTube, no matter which community you go to, whether it's the sneaker community, the retro gaming community, the kung fu community, the weightlifting community. You're gonna have that element in every corner of YouTube, you know, no matter what it is. So, but I mean, a lot of good topics there, a lot of good conversation. But it is late. The sleep is now finally starting to hit me, so I'm about to take my butt to bed. But hopefully you all enjoyed the evening, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.